Hi everyone, welcome to the Arden Creative Studio YouTube channel. Today I've got a quick 10 top tips for using your PET tape. So these are different ideas that you can use your tape for, not just peeling it and sticking it. So let's get started straight away. So first let's look at some different PET tapes and what they do, how they look, how they work. So traditionally PET tape can come in two different types. So you can have the ones that are a full sheet. The ones from Arden Creative are really clever because they are on a backing sheet, so they are adhesive as well. So this one and this film strip one are, as I say, full sheet. You would usually use the entire sheet. And then we have these ones, which are what we call kiss cut. So these ones have images printed on them, but the images are printed around, or cut around rather, so you can lift up your image and it's already cut out for you, so you can use just the small elements, as I will do just there. Place it onto your project, and as you can see, you can actually see through the tape. So this is great because you can lay it over as a finishing touch on your projects. Now, first of all, obviously, yes, you've got the kiss cut ones, but what if you want a different shape than just the width of the tape for one that isn't kiss cut? Well, you can actually die cut it. So my first technique today is going to be to die cut through my tape. Now I'm going to leave the backing on, use a little bit of just some low tack tape to hold my dies still, and I'm just using two circle dies. Any die you want to, you can use. It will cut through absolutely beautifully. If you have a die cutting machine with certain settings, I would say use the acetate setting. So you may want to put in something like a metal shim. So cutting through those, you should get a nice clean cut, and then you just want to release your low tack tape as well. Just do that gently so that you don't peel the backing off of the tape before you want to. And I always keep my low tack tape as well for another time. So first of all, we've actually cut some apertures into this piece, which you can absolutely use on a project. And then we've also got our circles. So now these can go onto, so let's put it into the art journal. So let's choose a page, and you'll see we've got the PET tape. This is, as I say, it's all adhesive. So you just need to peel off the backing and pop that down, and we've got that in a perfect circle. Now the tapes can also be used on acetate, which gives them a really fun kind of pocket effect, see-through effect. I'm just going to use this same one again, and I'm going to use the entire sheet this time and just pop it onto a piece of acetate. So again, peeling off the backing. See, I've got some thin acetate here. Pop that onto the acetate, and it is completely see through the tape there. Now there are different variants of the tapes, so if I show you this one's got a little bit of a cloudy appearance, but we can layer the tapes up as well. So peel off the backing of this one, and if I just put that slightly over the previous tape, as you can see, a really nice see-through there. So I can put that in a page in my project, but you've got this slightly frosted look to the film strip. And of course, you've then also got your elements that are kiss cut, and they will work in the same way. You can overlay those to create yourself a really, really fun background. Now, this is going to be ideal if you're putting it on pages that you want to have a look through. So maybe in a journal, if you're doing divider pages or something like this, maybe pockets where you actually want to see a little bit of what's inside. In addition to the acetate, you can also use vellum, which then does give that purposeful frosted look. It's a great material to be layering onto to give you a subtle hint of a see-through without it being completely transparent. So this one is one of the kiss cut tapes that we have at Arden. So just peeling off there, this is a film strip. We've got a rabbit, butterfly, some fern leaves, etc. If I just place that on here, pressing that down, making sure there's no air bubbles underneath, then I've got that frosted look. As you can see, you can still see underneath if you want to, but it is completely stuck down. You haven't got to think about how to adhere these either, which is really cool. It takes a lot of the hard work out of it. Now, of course, if you don't want to be sticking it down, maybe you want to create an actual pocket with your tape, you can use a stapler instead. So I'm just going to staple this one down along 3 edges, just so that I can create myself a pocket. And this is the Tim Holtz. This is just the fastener. And then I've got myself a pocket here that I can use on any project. If you were to use tape or glue, the trouble with that is that you're going to possibly see the adhesive through. Another way to do it though, if I just cut another piece, and this is a little more fiddly, I prefer to use staples, but I'll go to show you this way anyway, is to take yourself a craft knife and on the reverse of the tape, just very, very lightly score a line, and hopefully you can just get through the backing sheet, and then the same along two edges, being careful not to push hard enough to go through the backing sheet and the tape. And then let's just pop this down over on the reverse here, just pressing down those edges where the backing tape's been removed. And again, we have a pocket and it's only stuck down by the backing there that's on the edges. Now, some of the PET tapes come with colour already added and some are monochrome. Now, I love to coordinate my PET tape with my projects. So you can bring in an alcohol pen. If you think of it as a plastic, what would you colour plastic with? It's got to be a solvent or alcohol based solution. So alcohol markers are perfect, and I can just simply colour over the non-sticky side, so the shiny side here, just like so. And this is on one where I've still got the backing on the back, so I could have actually coloured this in on the reverse, and that colour will dry on there. But alternatively, you can also use alcohol inks in the bottle. Now I'm going to do a very small amount on here, and with the alcohol inks you're not going to be able to easily place your alcohol inks so that it covers just, I don't know, a flower or a butterfly. You're going to be looking at more of a background colour here. So just adding a little bit of blending solution there, and then I'm going to use my sprayer just to move that around and add a splash of colour. There we go. So now I've added that almost a watercolour splash to the background of my tape. So another way to colour your PET tape or to add an extra bit of sparkle is to use some glitter. So you can press glitter into the adhesive part here. So it's a good idea to do this with not too long a piece because they do tend to curl up and sort of sit on themselves. So I'm just going to place this piece of tape onto this cardstock here so you can see it's a black cardstock. I've got a white sparkly glitter. And I'm going to put lots and lots of glitter on here. Obviously, I'll put the excess back in the tub afterwards. And if you just sprinkle it all over the back of the tape, just use your finger to press it in, make sure there's no sticky areas remaining. And then we have a glittery embellishment, which is really cool. Now, I absolutely love to use my PET tape for away from my journaling and my scrapbooking for sealing my envelopes. I can't stand licking envelopes, but they are perfect because they just look like a stamped image there. But of course, they are sealing that envelope perfectly. Now, you can also do this if you want to seal together maybe 2 journal pages in your art journal as well. And I'm going to place this halfway over the edge, fold it round, and then adhere it to the back of my journal. And there I've created myself a little pocket. I can do the same at the bottom. It's got a fun design on it, but you can create pockets throughout your pages anywhere you want to. And lastly, a little bit like the acetate, but I find this really fun if you want to create something where you're looking at it from both sides. You can actually capture elements between 2 pieces of PET tape. So let's take one piece of film strip here, and then I'm going to lay this down and attempt to get a piece cut exactly the same again. So just putting them back to back because that's how they will go. I'm going to peel off the backing from one of them, and I'm going to place, this is just a laser cut from the Arden Creative Elements, as you can see. Place that inside. Let's place another, maybe a flower or something just in there. So I've got some greenery. I think that will work really nicely in here. And then I'm going to peel the backing off of the other sheet. Now, for this, you need to be quite careful. You need to work slowly because, of course, once it's stuck down, you are not getting these apart. So with that backing peeled off, I'm going to try to carefully place one over the other. The most important thing here for me is to get those squares lined up. Press the two together. You can add a little bit more glitter inside as well. And then you've got your double-sided PET tape all stuck together, no adhesive necessary or no additional adhesive necessary. And with our Arden laser cuts, they are printed on both sides, which is really unique. As I said, with putting colour onto your tape, you need to use alcohol or solvent, but you can also stamp onto your tapes as well. So I've got a little stamp here that says the word loved. And I'm going to stamp it onto this postmark here just for something. Maybe it's personalised, maybe you're putting a date on something there. So because I've done this with a STAys-on ink, which is an alcohol-based, solvent-based ink, this is going to dry. So I would give that maybe 10 minutes to ensure it's dry. And then when I peel it off, the ink's on there already. So placing that onto a tag, you can see you've got the actual PET tape and then you've got the word loved stamped on there. Like I say, additional extras, it may be that you want some wording on there, you might want to stamp a date or something, a particular word that is meaningful for your project, whatever it may be, but just don't forget you can stamp onto your PET tape as long as you are using a Stays-On ink pad. So I hope that's helped you with 10 different ideas, actually more than 10, for using your tape. And if you've got any other ideas that I haven't covered, please do pop them in the comments so everyone else can benefit from those as well. And if you haven't already, we would love it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel for Arden Creative Studio. We upload inspiration on a weekly basis at least. So join us here and hopefully you'll be inspired to create with the Arden Creative Studio products. Now, if you want to find the products, there is a link in the description below to our Stockists page on our website. So take care, have a lovely weekend everybody. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.